What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and today I have a very exciting video for you all. Today we're going to be taking a look at the custom airport basis, Tulsa International Airport runway 18 left display. I hope all of you are excited for this today. Thank you so much once again to Custom Airport Bases. They do a great job. Love Brad Myers and what he's doing, and this is now my fourth one, so highly recommend them very much, and it's just so impressive to see all the work that's currently going on over there. So today we're going to take an entire look here at this awesome panel and really dive into it. As you all know, this being my home airport, it's definitely going to be a very sentimental one, so very excited to take a look at it, and I hope all of you are as well. So without any further delay, let's just go ahead and get started, everybody. So here's just the overall view of the board. I got it at the Chicago Collectible Show spring 2025, so that's why it's unwrapped this time. Really phenomenal detail in so many ways, and we're going to talk about all of those details here today. But first, I do want to highlight the back real quick, as it does give a nice rundown here of the Tulsa International Airport. You have it there, 18 left, scale 1 to 400, and then several paragraphs here talking about the airport and what its function is. Talks about its World War II history as well. Then it talks about Lufthansa Techniques expansion, which is very cool. Then it discusses some of the cool airport's functions for military and civil traffic, so that's awesome. Excuse me. And then lastly, we have the runway layout. So there's the airport diagram, and 18 left is situated right up here. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at here today. And here's this information. If you're interested in getting custom airport base, definitely email them. I would highly recommend it right there. So here's the actual panel, runway 18 left. So this is the most used runway at the airport for sure, as all the civilian airliners land on it. This side, particularly 18 left, as there's predominantly south winds, but 36 right also gets heavy use as well. There's some really unique elements to it, particularly this concrete color we'll talk about, with quite an excessive amount of a brownish color, which I think is really cool. You also have, relative to other pavement that you see, and you also have a cool blast pad. You have both taxions in the different sizes of that too, so there's quite a few elements to it. So very excited to take a look at it. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to actually hold it up because I think that's easier for you all to see. So I'll kind of start up here with the bottom area, and we'll kind of just progress up. So let's not waste any further time and go ahead and take a look at the custom airport panel. So you can see down here, this is where we're going to start, and you can see some of the cool elements of it. So this is a very simple design. There's not a crazy amount of variation relative to others. So you can see the concrete shoulder right here. This is pretty common when you have a blast pad, so you can see some different, concrete marks on that. So that's pretty standard. I believe this is a 150-foot wide runway, so that's where you're going to have probably 200 feet right here. Actually, excuse me, I actually do know the story on this. This was a 200-foot runway actually prior to its rehabilitation. You can see the shoulders right here would make it 200, but they decided to narrow it to 150 when they rehabilitated it due to condition and to maintain it easier. I believe that was mainly because they did consider it to be I think it might have actually been on the NASA shuttle landing list for a while. I can't confirm that, but I think it was that and some larger aircraft during the time when it was 200 feet. So that explains the shoulder there of why that's a blackish color. But you can see this aligns, the blast pad was added later, so that's pretty cool, and you have the stripes for that. But the 200, the lights being 200, that remains, so that was pretty cool. So you can see several lights there, and obviously you start the 150-foot portion where you have 6 piano tiles on each side. I think you would have, 10 on 200 foot, I think, but anyway, each side. But there's 6 right here and 6 right here. Really good job here on the actual paint itself, excuse me, and you can see how nice that looks right there. So this is the side that most of the aircraft use. Taxiway Juliet's over here, and that's where the majority of the civil airliners come over. So you can see that's why you have the scratch marks there. This side is where the F-16s from the Air National Guard come over. The Air National Guard is situated right there, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, that's exactly what you have here. You have some really cool weathering. If we take a look here at the actual taxiway itself, let me pull this up a little bit. So you can see the actual taxiway here and how nicely that's situated. I think they did a really good job in the way of that being Brad. Did an awesome job really marking this up, and you can see some different shades throw in. So yeah, this is mainly a tannish color. I don't have the board over here, but the concrete color looks more like, you can see the hints of it right here. That's mainly what you're gonna find on most runways, but due to the probably excessive sun and the age of the rehabilitation, that's probably why this has that color to it. So it looks really cool. I think it's a nice contrast for models. So this is definitely gonna work out well, but you can see that on there, and then you have the tire marks from, say, a 737. But anyway, there's the taxiway lines themselves that look really nice, and you also have some really cool tile markings over there, and then you got them over here as well. And then obviously this side by default's not quite as weathered. Like I said, F-16's mainly over here, so that looks nice. And then yeah, the actual piano tiles themselves have a couple of marks on them here and there, which definitely adds some nice realism to it. So of course you love to see that. You have, like I said, so I made note that the right side here has a bigger edge, and that's mainly because there are some bigger aircraft that do come through here at times, and it makes it a little bit easier to navigate the runway if you have some more room to work with. So that's pretty cool too. There is quite a bit of weathering right here, and that's cool to see that translated from real life too. That's very nice. And then you take an actual look here at the piano tiles. Like I said, that then takes us up to the big portion of the runway right here. Sorry about that tripod, yikes. So let's start over here with the grass. Really great job. I really like the really realistic representation of it here, and I certainly think it's very indicative of what the grass really looks like in real life. You can see a couple of brown patches in there, so that's pretty realistic. Sometimes it gets muddy, sometimes in July and August it starts to die a little bit, so those are some reasons for that. And then, like I said, this was 200 foot wide, so that's why you have the black shoulders on it. It was that big at one time, so that's exactly what they were reflecting there at that time. And then you can see that they just marked it out. You still have the runway signs. These have moved in since, so that's pretty cool. And then the actual 1.8 left itself, you can see a couple hints of gray, but it's mainly that brownish color, which certainly looks quite nice. And you have a couple of tire marks on here. General aviation aircraft will use this runway, the private jets, but as of for props, not quite as excessive. So gotta be mindful of all of that and all of what that comes with. So anyway, looking very nice. And then the 1.8 left, very nice and situated there. The alignment's really good. So definitely very happy with how that came out. And he certainly did a phenomenal job in the way of detail and so forth. Got a nice weathering mark down there on the right side with that hint of white. That's cool. And then you also have some brown lines down the side of the shoulder, which is pretty nice. So yeah, this does work really well in the way of wide bodies and so forth. They'll add some really nice contrast with the shoulder right there. So very happy about that. This side of the grass also turned out well. Again, a couple of hints of mud or whatever exactly you want to represent, but that's pretty cool. A couple of lights over here on the shoulder side as well. So that looks nice. And otherwise, it is a pretty standard setup. I'm glad that it's north to south as well. So I think that looks quite nice, and certainly really glad to finally have this one at long last. So I did talk about this being one that I wanted to get. He does have 3.6 right as well. So I'm definitely pondering that, as you know, it'd be awesome to have both sides of it. Man, maybe one day I can just go ahead and build out the entire runway. That would take quite a few panels, but anyway, it's certainly fun. So yeah, he did a very good job on it. And Brad, once again, thank you so much. I appreciate your support of my channel, and I am very happy to promote these excellent products, as I certainly think it's really cool to see people like yourself continuing to innovate our 1-400 landscape, and 1-200 as well. And we've talked about maybe doing a 1-200 board and so forth. So very excited for the future ahead of what the future is going to be with regards to more custom airport bases. I never thought I would have had this many, and I'm glad that it's worked out so well. So I'll go ahead and show you some aircraft on it. Let's start with a regional jet. This is an Embraer 145. JSX does not fly here, but it certainly would be cool. So there's what a JSX 145 looks like on the runway, and I'll go ahead and situate it here, taxiing on to the runway as well. This is about the placement of where it would be, and then you could also see it probably over here as well. That's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and line it back up. So very nice to see that right there. The next aircraft also is unrealistic, but just for fun, I got an Aeromexico 737 right here, and there's what it looks like on the runway. As you can tell, this will be really good for reviews, and I'll go ahead and just zoom it in and show you kind of the contrast. And I certainly think that that color is really going to work out well, so very happy about that. Here it is taxiing on from the left side, and then there it is taxiing on from the right, and I can even get a pretty good representation of the tire marks there, so that's certainly very cool. So looking very sharp. And the last aircraft, this one's actually a little bit more realistic, which is surprising. I got the American Airlines Boeing 777-200ER right here, and as you can tell, this fits in quite nicely. And once again, this is going to be really good for reviews. So you got it right there, and then this is actually where it would taxi in from that maintenance base over there on that side. And then lastly, you have taxiing in from the other side as well. So certainly very cool. It looks super sharp. I think this board is going to be a huge asset for a very long time to come. So very happy to finally have a very sentimental one in the Tulsa International Airport board for runway 18 left. I'm extremely excited for what's to come, and definitely go check out what Brad's doing. He is certainly making moves, and you know, it's so exciting to see what all is going to happen as we continue to move forward with so many cool companies. So thank you so much once again. Greatly appreciate the work, and I'm super excited for what's to come. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process. Do you love and love you do. My name's CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.